Hi, my name is Jeremy and I run the website SoldOnHive.com, which is a community website supporting the crypto project Hiveterminal. This is hopefully the first in a series of podcasts with the Hiveterminal team. For this first episode, we are very fortunate to be joined by the new CEO of Hiveterminal, Bonart. I started off by asking Bonart to tell me a little bit about himself and his background, and this is where we begin. Hello, Bonart. Thank you for taking some time out to come and chat to the community. It's really good of you to do that and exciting to have you do this.
Hi, Jeremy.
I wondered if we could start off by you telling us a little bit about your commercial background.
Thanks. Yeah, well, first, thanks for having me. It's really a great pleasure to speak to you about Hiveterminal and the community. And I really think you deserve a big respect for running the SoldOnHive platform. It's a great job you're doing. So thanks a lot for that, first of all. And yeah, I've been active in the financial industry space over the last 15 years, having worked for big companies like G Money Bank, building e-business channels there, and also developed several startups and startup fintechs, grow them to a relevant size in the market. Those were active in the area of SME financing um, and factoring. So I have a lot of background in these areas as well. And yeah, at some point I came across to speak to Jan about the Hive terminal opportunity, which I was fascinated about. So I immediately knew that this is going to be my my baby, and I really um, immediately committed to the project. So I'm very glad to be here, and together with the team, which is really very committed, I'm happy to help bring Hive Terminal to the next level.
Well, you sound like you've got the perfect background and experience for where the project needs to go.
I hope so. Yeah. Well,
Our first question comes from Steve, and he was really interested in learning more about the move to Zug in Switzerland, um, how that affects your ability to network, build new relationships, and what sort of impact you expect it to have on the business.
yeah, I mean, Switzerland and especially Crypto Valley is, we have here a very fintech friendly regulatory framework, which helps us really to get up to speed very quick. And speaking about the DACH region, which is Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, they all have one in common, which is the language. So it is very convenient for us to start with those countries first. And Zug, as such, is really in the heart of Switzerland. It's very central, and we are surrounded by so many big companies, but also a lot of crypto companies due to the fact that we are in Crypto Valley. So it's really very interesting how many companies we have here, and we also have good connections in the space. So it's going to help us really get up to speed very quick.
No, it sounds like the perfect location. And in terms of the Zug office, what's the sort of makeup of that going to look like?
Yeah, I mean, we are in a very nice spot here in the Park Tower, which is very close to the rail station. And yeah, I've seen that some of the community members they have already done the research, so I don't need to tell you a lot about it. So we are not at the very top floor, but it's still very interesting and a good place to be. So also to attract customers, to have a good presence here, to attract new employees and so on.
And we noticed that you've been doing some recruitment for people in Germany. Will they be based there, or will they also work out of Zug?
So a lot of the people will be based here in Zug, but we are also aiming to have a local presences in the other countries. One of them is Germany, which is like the next obvious one. So yeah, a lot of it can be done from here, from Zug. As I said, due to the fact that we have a common language, the markets are very similar, and yeah, it's just convenient for us to start from here.
Makes a lot of sense, yeah. Our next question comes from Andreas and Pim, and they're interested in knowing a little more about the onboarding process. The impression is that it's been slightly resource intensive, a little bit complicated, and they wondered whether you had any plans to make this easier and how you're going to attract new businesses to use the early payment feature.
Okay, yeah. So the complexity actually comes from the legal side, which we need to cover. So we need to make our process legally compliant. So that is for sure something which will take us a lot of efforts to build this complexity in the background. And the challenge is basically to have on the front end the as easy as possible process. So our aim is to have the fastest process and the best user experience in the space. This is where we are working on, and ultimately these are going to be our USPs, which will be communicated. And in terms of volumes, first it's about to revitalize the Slovenian business. That's one of our key priorities. As you know, the government is now removing the subsidies as an effect of the pandemic, and the volumes start picking up again. At the same time, we are preparing the market entry for DACH and the launch campaigns, hiring of the new people, and so on and so forth. So we have a good momentum here, a huge existing market we are targeting and tackling. But also we need to consider the fact that many companies, they don't have access to factoring today. So it's also about opening new markets for them. And this is what we are here, and we're here to change that.
So a lot to get your teeth into there.
Exactly.
And that question ties in nicely from Ramon, who says, how do you know how trustworthy the company is that you're buying the invoice from? Which ties in nicely with the announcement yesterday of the new data source and the company you've tied up with there.
Exactly. So we just closed a deal with one of the biggest, if not the biggest, credit rating agency in Europe, let's say, which is Creditor Form. This is in addition to Bisnote, which is already active in Slovenia. So it's about information. It's about having the relevant data at the right time, and we have been working now to enrich our data by adding these additional data sources. That is increasing the relevance and our ability to judge upon this trustworthiness you're referring to. So basically, yeah, it's about having the right data, having our platform and our algorithm taking the right decision, the right logic being fed from us, from humans, basically. And but we are not only relying on the machine, so we also have the human factor in the process, somebody who is pressing the final button to approve an invoice to be listed and confirm the proposal by the system. So that means we are able to also consider recent trends and news for certain companies or certain industries, which enables us to react a bit quicker and more relevant for the purpose we are using this.
Because as you say, it's historical data, and then that news headline is so dynamic. At the moment, it needs a human to be able to go, oh, that suddenly affects this particular business, which 24 hours ago might not have been relevant.
Yeah, and it's about we also have the investors who are buying those invoices, and it's not about just bringing volume to our platform. That is easy to bring volumes and sell invoices. The magic is to bring in the right volumes and the right risk profiles, so our investors can invest in safe asset class, which is also diversified throughout all the categories of industries and so on and so forth. So it's about really managing expectations for all the parties.
No, that makes sense. Okay, next question comes from Mira, and it's the exchange question, which is obviously a much discussed topic amongst the community. As you know, the main exchange is HitBTC, which we've been on for a long time. Top 60 exchange. It's been pretty solid, but obviously it's not one of the glamorous exchanges. There was discussion a while ago with Gal in the official forum where he was talking about that the team had been looking at other exchange listings. Could you give us an indication of where things are with that? Whether you've maybe be looking at any or centralized, decentralized, kind of anything you can tell us about that at the moment, please?
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that this is like one of the most asked questions to us, and exchanges are important to us as a token company. We have been very active over the course of the past month in evaluating new exchanges, and it's really our aim to increase the exposure of the HVN to existing investors and new investors. It's just a process that takes a bit of time, but this is given. So, I mean, we are aware of it, and this is just a matter of time, and it will come as soon as possible.
Okay, great. Thank you. And out of curiosity, would you be looking more to, when you talk about new investors, are you talking about, new buyers of the token? Are you talking about people who are new to crypto or people who are new to HVN? I.e., would you looking more for exchanges which care more about the fiat pair or crypto to crypto pair?
So the beauty of our community is that we have identified there are a couple of a lot of investors in the community who are aware of our platform and who are also investors on the platform itself. So yeah, we really would like to emphasize and to use the platform, get in touch with the platform, but also people who are interested in the token and as such. So it's to have a good mix. I think that's something which we would like to focus on. So to grow the community and to manage the community, this is like one of our priorities.
Brilliant, thank you. Our final question comes from SB, and he was keen to see how the marketing strategy was going to come about towards the crypto community, and also some of the fundamental things. For example, the listing on CoinMarketCap, which is the starting place for many people looking at cryptocurrencies, is like very, very out of date, and whether you had some time and resource to look at fixing things like that.
Yes, so we are very glad that the community is bringing these things to us. So we are working on that already. You and the community know the best where the company is coming from. So we are now really these topics are all addressed. They are being tackled step by step. So at the same time, we are also taking a holistic approach to work on a clear communication plan towards the community, but in general, as a company, have a one voice over all the channels. And this is something which we will really take more care in the future to have everything accurate, all the information on all the platforms accurate. And this is for sure something we're working on. But in terms of communication, so there is the frequency for us is not so important. So we are not for the blah blah communication, but rather have concrete and substantial steps communicated, and then have them communicated fully transparently. Because as I said, the crypto community and our community as such is a key to success for us. So it's a top priority.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like it when businesses just say something for the sake of saying something.
Exactly.
As you say, it's meaningless, and you're like, and what have we got from this? Yeah, say something when it's worth saying something.
Exactly.
Well, brilliant. Thank you ever so much for that. I really appreciate your time. Hopefully this is the first one of a series we'll do.
Yeah.
And good luck with everything, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks a lot, Jeremy. Thanks for organizing and thanks for having me.
No problem. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.